Look, you want a rundown of exactly what you need to start a vending machine business? Then this is the video for you. It has to be one of the most common questions that I get. How do you start a vending machine business? Well, today I'm going to be exposing everything. I'm going to be going through the whole process of how you can start a vending machine business as a beginner and eventually scale it up and have your own vending machine empire. Actually, learning today. We're going to be learning how you can start a vending machine business. Like I said, from scratch, we're going to be going into as much detail as possible in this video to help you guys out. But firstly, why should you even listen to me? You probably have never seen me or never met me before. Why listen to someone like me? I'm just making a video, right? Wrong. I've been actually doing this business and I have been in the vending machine game for over 5.5 years now. As you can see, I've got loads of different locations. I've spoken at events. I have an okay-ish sort of online presence. You might have seen me on TikTok before. You might have seen me on Instagram or even YouTube, which, if you like and subscribe and all of that sort of good stuff, it definitely helps me out as a small business owner. But essentially, I've been able to build my vending machine empire, and essentially what it's allowed me to do, it's allowed me to travel. Because for me, at the end of the day, that was what I wanted, right? I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to be free. I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. I was always destined for something greater than that. And essentially, it's allowed me to travel to over 25 countries. I've been to Thailand, I've been to Italy, I've been to Brazil, I've been to all sorts. And I'm not showing this to boast by any means. I'm not here to boast about this. But I want to show you guys what is actually achievable within vending machines and having a real vending machine business. Any further, I want to be so honest with you guys because I don't want to sell you the dream, right? You're not going to put in one vending machine and become a millionaire of it. You're not going to put £1 in, it's not crypto, and you're not going to become a millionaire again overnight. It just doesn't work like that, okay? So I want you guys to understand that this is a real business, okay? And to sort of wrap that up, it can be a whole vending machine empire with loads and loads of machines, or it can just help sort of supplement your 9 to 5. Now, the cool thing is, I've actually been able to help other people as well. I haven't just done this for myself. I've helped Anis get his first location in literally 4 days. I've helped Darrell, James, I've helped AJ get 12 locations in literally 2 months of working with me. And he was also able to secure a partnership with LucasAid. Like, wow, amazing stuff, right? Loads of people have been able to start. And look, before we get into the nitty and gritty, if you want to start your vending machine journey, if you don't want to sit here and do the guessing work, if you want to take out loads of time and essentially eliminate all the factors that will make you fail in this business, then literally go down below, there'll be a link, book in for a call with myself, we'll have a little one-to-one chat and I can see if I can help you start your vending machine business. But back into the video. So loads of people think, yeah, let me get a machine first and then I'll figure out the rest. Well, let me go red color because this is wrong. We will speak about machines and I will get back to speaking about machines, but I will do that in a little while. Because if you buy a machine first, then there's 2 things that happen. Firstly, you don't have a location, so it's just going to be sitting there, and however X amount you've spent in this machine, it's now sort of just being wasted capital. The second thing is transporting costs. So you obviously have to transport this machine from the location. Let's say this is your home up here. This is transport, right? So when this machine's going to get shipped out to you, if you don't have a location, it's going to sit in your back garden, front garden, maybe kitchen if you're lucky and your wife doesn't kick you out. But essentially, it's going to sit in this house, right? Well, then you've got to pay again this transport cost here to get it to the location. So you're already losing out on loads of money from doing the first step wrong. And like I said, if you want to avoid losing out money, time, energy, and want to actually build a vending machine business, then there will be a link down below for you to book in a one-to-one call with myself. Now, like I said, we'll get back to the vending machine stuff in a second. Let's talk about locations first. So, following this arrow over here, locations, locations, locations. Obviously, that is the bread and butter of this business, right? If we don't have locations, then we're not going to be able to survive. Now, a few of these locations, what they look like and what people think they look like, Because people, the last time that they had a look at vending machines, probably like 50 years ago, where you could literally just plop them anywhere and you'd make loads of money, but it just doesn't work like that anymore. Yeah, they'll probably think of like airports, office buildings, stuff like, all the common things that come up into your mind. Well, essentially, in 2025, this is not going to work, okay? Because these locations that you think are nice and pretty and have, you know, these big, massive airports with loads of different things going on, these office buildings, blah, 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 they don't work anymore, okay? They simply don't work. There's already big vending machine people in there with companies that have been doing this for years and years, and simply for how much you're gonna have to be paying for these tender contracts, it doesn't work. Another massive misconception is hospitals. Yeah, are these great locations? Yeah. Are you going to be able to get them as a brand new person coming into vending? Most probably not. I'm not going to say it's impossible because I don't believe in anything that is, there's nothing impossible in this world. But the chances and the likelihood, very slim. So what's the three things that you actually need in your location? Because you need to know what these three things are. And as you can see, I've left one out. I'll get to that in just a second. But the three things you need in your location is, of course, footfall. Because if there isn't people obviously walking past in the building, either temporary or full-time staff, if there isn't people sort of going in and out, well, who's going to actually buy anything from your vending machine? If you've got 10 people, most likely is, with the way that inflation's at the moment, especially in the UK, a lot of people have probably bought their lunch in, they've bought their snacks these days. But what vending machines allows you to do is, of course, pitch on convenience, because essentially that is what we're doing, right? Because it's a convenience matter. If someone's not gonna come out their office and go 16 floors down and obviously sort of go to the corner shop. I mean, they could do that, but most likelihood is they're not. So essentially, there's a lot of money to be made in vending machines. Obviously, it's an automatic business, so you don't have to do much once you place your machine. But you have to have a few things going and aligning for you. So back to this, footfall has to come correctly. Second thing, you need to have low competition. I think it just makes sense, right? If you have low competition, then obviously you're going to be gaining the most amount of competitive advantage in that market, and you're going to be making the most amount of money. But there will be competition. There's always competition, and competition might not be there before. It might come there after you place your machine. There's loads of different things that might occur with competition, and how you battle this competition is up to you. There's different methods of battling competition and how you can actually outperform them as well, and obviously be the go-to person in that sort of location or area or proximity or even radius. But that is something that you can find out if you want to skip all of this hassle and essentially unlock the key things. So if you want to do that and you want to build a vending machine empire and a business that runs automatically without any sort of issues and all these headaches, then go ahead and book that link below. Now, the third thing is I've left as a mystery, right? And I'm going to put a question mark here. And the reason I've done that is because you have to figure out what is that third thing that's going to make you unique. Because everyone's thinking about these two things. You need to have a unique point, okay? And I don't want to delve into it too much because I don't want to reveal every unique point out there. Otherwise, the whole sort of market's going to get very saturated very quickly. But you need to have something unique, okay? So bear that in mind. Now, moving back over to machines, okay? So when you're looking at machines, you've probably seen, do you know what, let me make myself a little bit smaller. Okay, amazing. So yeah, when you've looked at machines, you've probably seen something like this, right? This is what we call a combo machine in the business, right? And it's very simple. We call this a combo machine because obviously it has, as you can see up here, it sells snacks. Down here it sells drinks. So it does best of both, yeah? We'll put drinks and put snacks. There's machines that only sell snacks. There's machines that only sell drinks. So combo machines, sort of like rule of thumb, these are the best machines to go for because essentially you're going to be able to test the market, float both sort of snacks and drinks, and at the same time, you're going to be able to sell either snack or a drink. But when someone comes to that machine, they might buy a snack, then they get thirsty, they want a drink, but you can't do that unless you have either or. In here you have both. Cool, amazing, very simple. Additionally, it sort of leads on to product selection, because you're going to have more product selection when you have combo machines. There's different ways that you can sort of lay out these trays over here. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. So yeah, these is what we call trays, as you can see, just that black sort of where everything's sitting on. These here, we call them trays. You can have these configured differently, and obviously the coils is this little bit, I've just drawn over it, that little bit there where you've seen a vending machine before, you know what a coil is, you know what I'm talking about. But essentially, the coils go into the trays, but you can configure these because there's smaller coils that will hold like your chocolate bars like this. Let me change color. So like holding your chocolate bars like this, and as you can see, this is a little bit of a bigger coil holding the biggest snacks, which are like the crisp packets, maybe Haribo packets up here. And then these are also different coils in terms of size that will be holding your drinks and your bottles. Bottles and drinks, they sort of look the same, but obviously you're normally vending from the second floor up when it comes to bottled rather than can, and I'll go into that in a different video. But that's what your machine will look like. Now, it also allows you to sort of test the market, because if you can test the market with both snacks and drinks, you know what's selling best, then you can obviously rearrange your layout of your machine. So if you're making loads of sales and you've got loads of killer products that are all sort of drinks, then you know what, maybe it might be worth to get an additional drinks machine in and give them more options and more range. Or if you're selling loads of snacks and your drinks are not really moving because there might be free teas and coffees or whatever else, then that might be something to look into, just getting a snack machine and sort of sacking off the combo. But general rule of thumb, a combo machine is what you want to be getting. And then at the same time, it's efficient, right? Because you can pop these open. These are very easy to restock, these machines. They're not as efficient as smart vending machines. And if you want to get into smart vending, it is literally the right time to get into that. But I will speak about that in a different video. I think I've already dropped a video about smart vending already on my channel. So if you want to go ahead, watch that. But essentially, you got to buy this machine, you got to put it in, and then people forget about the next step. There is another step, right? So people think about just these two steps: location, machine, and then they leave it in there. And essentially people leave it and then they forget it. And this is where their business, rather than going up, it goes down like this. And if you haven't figured out what that next step is actually your product selection, aka your stock. So why is this really important? Because this is the third layer that needs to align. In a vending machine business, there's 3 layers, right? So there's the vending machine, there's the actual location, and then there's the products. If these 3 things don't match up in terms of you being successful in all 3 things, then you simply won't make any money. Because if you've got the wrong stock in there, no one's going to buy it in the first place. And therefore, you're not going to be able to sell it, and you're just going to waste loads of money on stock. Saying that, your stock, when you first start out, there's a list that I provide to all the people that are on my coaching program with the things they need to buy. Because there is a list of standard things that you need, right? There's an essentials list. Nearly slipped it out, but you are not getting it. I'm joking. If you go below and sort of join that link, book in the calendar for a call with myself, I can maybe give you a little sort of gem on the call there about what the stock looks like for your machine. But essentially, you have your basics that you're going to put in that machine, and then you've got stuff that are selective for your location. And this is really important because every location is different. Now, we have different methodologies in terms of finding this out, and every sort of person has their own. Obviously, we have things that have worked for myself in the past and that are working for other people that are in the program as well. But there is ways to go around this there is ways to do this, and there is methods out there that will prove which stock you need to be putting in your machine, essentially. And it's something that you also need to be looking after at all times. And I feel like this has to be the biggest step that people forget. Forget step 3. This is step 4. I'm just going to quickly put this. Step 4 in here. This is what people forget. And it's all about tracking. Because you need to know what is going in your vending machine. People leave it in there and forget it. And sort of don't know what's going on in their machine. It's your business. This has to be your baby. You have to love it. and you have to be constantly tracking it. Now, there's loads of different softwares. Obviously, we have our own that we use, but you have to know what's going in. You have to be tracking your best sellers, your worst sellers. Are you stock rotating? What are you doing? How are you improving the sales in that location if it's not working well? If it's working well, happy days. But even if it's working well, then you need to know, what are your best selling products? What can I maybe put 2 rows of them rather than 1 and make more money if that's going really well? So you need to know all these different things that essentially people, especially in the machine game, forget to do. Now, for one last time, if you want to have a business that works automatically for you, if you want to understand the vending machine game in and out, you want to be able to travel, supplement your 9 to 5 and sort of make some extra income, because there is people that love their 9 to 5 and there's nothing wrong with that at all. If that is you and you're ready to invest into yourself, then go ahead and book a call with the link below. Other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.